should apply for it every year, it's there every year.
I think we need one between catchers or pitcher's mound and second base for shade.
Yeah. Turn my head for sure.
All right, we're ready. It's 5:30. We're gonna get going here. This is time and place for the city commission meeting here in South Dakota on Monday, October 2nd, 2023. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Smith is absent. Weinrice? Wright?
Here.
Harvey?
Here.
Mayor Harrington?
Here. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda approval. Does the commission have anything they want to add or delete tonight from the agenda? I have some adjustments, some agenda that needs to be approved. Approve the agenda with changes to 4.4.1 to include 1-year credit for prior service with the city of Huron and an additional 4.4.5 accept the volunteer resignation of Colette DeShazer from the accounting technician position in the finance office effective November 3rd, 2023. And 4.4, post internally and advertise for an accounting technician in the finance office in accordance with the ASME Uni Contract Article X. Ask for approval.
Move to approve.
Move to approve, Commissioner Harvey. Second.
Second.
Commissioner Bragg. Okay, roll call vote, please.
Weinrice? Wright?
Aye.
Harvey?
Aye.
Mayor Harrington?
Aye. Okay, we're gonna move into public forum. Has anybody got anything for public forum tonight from the commission? Seeing none, nobody from the public out there, well then we will go into proclamation. The first one, we have 2 proclamations tonight. The first one is Gladys Pyle Day observance and enter and to observe her 133rd birthday. So with that, we'll come up and we'll do a proclamation. Gladys Pyle. Okay, Gladys Pyle Day in Huron, South Dakota. Gladys Pyle Day to celebrate her 133rd birthday on October 4th, 2023. Whereas Gladys Pyle was a lifelong resident of Huron, South Dakota, living in the home of her father built in 1893, graduated from Huron College, and was a lifelong supporter of the Huron community. And whereas Gladys Pyle was the first person in South Dakota woman and first Republican woman to be elected to the U.S. Senate, the first woman in South Dakota elected Secretary of State, and first woman to be placed name in nomination for the presidency. And whereas Gladys Pyle was Huron's First Lady of the Year in 1952, and the present first woman to receive Huron Chamber of Commerce Distinguished Service Award. And whereas Gladys Pyle was a pioneer in education, politics, civic responsibility, and business, and now therefore be it resolved that I, Gary Harrington, Mayor of the City of Huron, do hereby proclaim October 4th, 2023 as Gladys Pyle Day on what would have been her 133rd birthday. Thank you for doing that. Appreciate it. Get a picture?
1, 2, 3.
That's us. We have another proclamation tonight. And Ron, will you come up, our fire chief? Ron's here to do the National Fire Prevention Week. Whereas the city of Huron, South Dakota is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting Huron. And whereas fire is serious public concern both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are greatest at risk from fire. And whereas home fires kill more than 2,580 people in the United States, according to the National Fire Protection Association. And fire departments in the United States responded to 365,500 home fires. And whereas smoke alarms sense smoke well before you can alert you to danger in the event of fire, which you may have as little as 2 minutes to escape safely. And whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying in reported home fires in half. And whereas residents should be sure everyone in the home understands the sounds of the alarms and knows how to respond. And whereas residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will be therefore more likely to survive the fire. And whereas residents will make sure that smoke and carbon monoxide alarms meet the needs of all their family members, including those with sensory or physical disabilities. Whereas Huron's first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection and education. And whereas the 2023 Fire Prevention Week theme, Cooking Safety Starts with You, pay attention to fire prevention, aims to educate public about simple but important steps they can take to help reduce the risk of fire when cooking at home. Now therefore be it resolved, I, Gary Harrington, Mayor of the City of Huron, South Dakota, do hereby proclaim the week October 8th through the 14th, 2023 as Fire Prevention Week, and I residents to plan and practice home fire escape, fire prevention, and support the many public activities and efforts of fire act services. And whereas I have herein set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Huron to affix on the 2nd day of October in the year 2001. Thanks, sir.
Sir.
One, two, three.
Okay,
Thanks, Richard.
good trip too, by the way. If I don't see you again.
Oh, another set of
Oh,
phones.
the other side. I threw them.
I had that one picture.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, now moving on to the consent agenda. Matters appearing on the consent agenda are expected to be non-controversial and will be acted upon by the commission at one time without discussion unless a member of the commission requests an opportunity to address any given item. Items removed from the consent agenda will be discussed at the beginning of the formal items. 4.1, minutes of September 25th, 2023, City Commission minutes. 4.2, fuel quotes for city departments. 4.3, raffle Huron Volunteer Fire Department from October 1st, 2023 to December 16th of 2023. 4.4, personnel. Recommend hiring Jennifer Gibson for the 9/11 telecommunication position for the Huron Police Department Dispatch Center and credit 1 year for previous service for the city of Huron. Number 2, recommend hiring Will Gray for the airport operations maintenance technical position. 3, accept the voluntary resignation of Laura Kotz, Solid Waste Maintenance 1. 4, recommend training step increase for police officer Forrest Athlete for receiving search and seizure instruction or certification from with the state of South Dakota. 5, accept a voluntary resignation of Colette DeShazer from the accounting and technician position in the finance office effective November 3rd, 2023. 6, post internally and advertise for an accounting technician in the finance office in accordance with ASME Union Contract X. 4, payment of the bills. I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Commissioner Harvey moves to approve, second, Mr. Bragg. I entertain a roll call vote, please.
Weinrice. Weinrice.
Weinress, Rice?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now. We're voting on the consent agenda.
Aye.
Okay?
Craig.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Okay, moving on to bid quote items, 5.1, and Dennis Bennett is here today to tell us what 5.1 is.
Okay, thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. This is for a hook truck that we use for solid waste, remove roll-off bins with. We got a quote from Sourcewell for $200,830. We have $277,252 budgeted, but that price includes the roll-offs. The price for the truck is $200,830. Recommend approval to purchase truck.
Okay. Any motion?
I'll make that motion.
Commissioner Weinress makes a motion to approve. Need a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Bragg. Any questions for Dennis on this item?
Just want a quick note that there is $83,500. It is a 30% match grant on there, up not to exceed.
Not to exceed 83.5. Yep.
Okay. Do you have any other questions for Dennis on this item? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Weinrice.
Aye.
Craig.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. 6.1, I'll call on Financial Officer Pauline Carey to explain to us what 6.1 is.
Thank you, Mary. This is a new license for a restaurant, for retail malt beverage and South Dakota wine, excuse me. All the inspections have been done, and there's no comments in our office. We ask for approval.
Okay.
I move to approve.
Move to approve, Commissioner Bragg.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Harvey. Any questions for this item?
The former Picante location,
Yes.
right? And even the same owner, I think, coming back too, so.
Yes, just different name.
Yep.
Okay, a roll call vote, please.
Weinrice.
Aye.
Craig.
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Moving on to 8.1, we're calling our IT person Chad to come up and explain what this item is, 8.1.
Hello again. So last week, we deferred to this week on our IT plans for going with, I didn't bring my demo. With going with the Santel budget request for 2024 to be done this year. And we decided to reinvestigate some of our other options for services out at the buildings. I did talk with Venture Communications. They did come out and do a site survey, but I did not hear back from them yet about a build cost. But the tech that was out did say that it probably wouldn't be done this year. They're still behind, they're a little behind already on that project. So we'd be looking at 2024 before they could even get us a service, which puts us into a dark period for both of those locations. And Midcontinent did do site surveys for both those locations for their wireless services, and we are able to get service to both of those locations at their top tier. It is a little bit slower than the fiber offered by Santel, but given the amount of equipment that's out there, I think would be probably a good alternative and at a lower cost. So that's where we're at this week.
So if they do that, is there any equipment purchase we have to make if they do?
There isn't, those are in the equipment is included in the lease agreements.
So it's
So there's nothing we purchase, there's no build cost for that, it's just the monthly fees that we pay for those services.
Do you have a general idea of the
The cost for those services is $85 a month.
versus what will Santel's be after we pay them?
It is 95 plus applicable sales tax and whatever the 911 fees and things like that.
So that,
So it's $10 cheaper than a fixed fiber service.
and $20,000 cheaper.
And $20,000 cheaper without having, because we wouldn't have that build cost.
What kind of a contract do we have to sign if we go
Um,
the Midco route?
Mid-Con, usually we have an option for a 3 or a 5 year contract, just locks our price in for that period. Usually, we haven't seen too much in the way of price hikes from them for our business accounts, so even once that 3 or 5 year term is over and we renew the contract at a new 5 year, price stays the same.
I was just thinking if we did a 1 year or shorter term contract with that to get us through the dark period, then we could see what Venture might come back with, but.
I haven't, in the contracts, I haven't seen that there's a penalty for early termination. But that's not to say that there isn't one buried in there.
I think when they lock that price, I think there is a penalty if you get out early, at least with my Midco business, so it may be different with what you're signing, but that would be the only thought I would have. I mean, eventually it would be desirable to have the fiber. I think, for future expansion, it'd be nice to have that higher capacity down the road. I just hate that we're being backed into a corner right now. So if we could do a short term with this Midco, if it goes great, then maybe that becomes the long term, but it also gives us another season to not be, because right now I feel like we're really being pushed by that time crunch, that we gotta get something done because they can't go dark, which I understand, but.
I would agree with the shorter term if possible, and, if it doesn't work great, then we're locked in for 3 years too,
I can look how fast they do that.
Because, I don't know what future upgrades we would make out there, but you would hate to get to a point later where we do something that we need more bandwidth, and we know that we're pretty much, Midco's never gonna be able to deliver anything faster than what, we're already gonna be maxed out at the top they can offer.
Right.
But I also don't love the idea of spending $20,000 to get a more expensive service in if we don't need that much anyway, so that.
And, for I don't know how many years now, we've had that wireless service from Santel, and it's been enough.
Right.
And again, it's, 2 computers at golf maintenance and possibly 3 and some public wireless at the pro shop. So we're not talking, the office like here where we've got 30 computers and a dozen laptops and 42 phones running on everything.
Right. So what are you looking for?
I don't know. I guess, the initial thought was, the initial part of this was to get the go-ahead on the fiber if we needed, because we're on that time crunch. But now with those new services available, maybe we just try that, and do that year if we can.
So do you need a motion from us in order to change to Midco service.
Okay.
So I would make a motion that we use the Midco wireless service with the attempt to sign a one-year contract so that we can evaluate the service and check with that fiber option from VentureCom.
I'd second that.
All right, you have a motion on the table to approve that. We have a second from Commissioner Harvey. Roll call vote, please.
Weinreich,
Aye.
Bragg,
Aye.
Harvey,
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Thank you, Chad.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rich, by the way. Okay. 8.2, I'm going to read it. It's to consider an agreement with the Department of Transportation Office of the Air, Rail, and Transit Project for the planning and development of the public use airports, which AIP funding may be used at the Huron Regional Airport, and authorize the mayor to sign. This is what we will be using when our next project is developing a taxiway, new taxiway off of one of our runways. So we'll be utilizing this money from the AIP. It's something we sign every year to get the money. So
Make a motion to approve 8.2.
I have a motion to approve by Commissioner Weinrich.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Harvey. So if you don't have any questions, we'll have a roll call vote.
Weinreich,
Aye.
Bragg,
Aye.
Harvey,
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Okay, moving on to 8.3. I don't see those people here.
Do you see that?
8.3, I will read, and we'll have a discussion on. Consider, 8.3, consider declaring 4 concrete culverts as surplus from the street and solid waste departments, and to appoint Sean Harvey, Dennis Bennett, and Dale Fortney as appraisal committee. From my understanding, these concrete culverts, you might be able to add something to this, Dennis, has been out there for a long time, just laying in the weeds.
Yep,
Is that true?
yes, it is.
Okay. And
Right on the fence on the west side.
we have no use for those.
You know, we tried to put them underground for using as culvert. There's too many nicks and chips and stuff in the ceiling faces that wouldn't work, so.
Okay, okay. Any other questions on this item?
I would move to approve the surplus bill.
Second.
Okay, I have a move to approve by Commissioner Bragg. We have a second by Commissioner Weinrich. We can have a roll call vote on this item.
Weinreich,
Aye.
Bragg,
Aye.
Harvey,
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. 8.4, we're going to call on Park and Rec Director, Chad, to tell us what 8.4 and 8.5 are.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. So 8.4 is a grant through that'll be funded by the Inflation Reduction Act through the United States Forest Service. I learned about it a couple weeks ago, and I found out that the Huron area has a disadvantaged area identified by the census that meets the requirements for this grant. It's a $100,000 grant that is 100% money, no match. It just so happens that the west perimeter of the area is Highway 37 all the way through the city of Huron, which this grant will mesh great with the Highway 37 project. So what I've included in this $100,000 grant application is a request that would allow us to plant all of our boulevard trees along our Highway 37 project. And when I did the math on it, the total came out to $100,050 based off of what David Locke has put together for Market Street to 9th Street. And then I went out and did an inventory from 9th Street to 21st Street to try to forecast. And I did some multipliers to cover over a few years. This grant is a grant that we can get through 24, and then we can apply for reimbursement for our phase 1 of our project. This grant ends in 2027. So when we get through our next phase from 9th Street to 21st Street, we could apply for
for reimbursement on that money. We could ask for reimbursement, not reapply. Once we get approved for the money, we have multiple years to spend it. So I guess I'm asking for approval of this grant application that I filled out and authorizing me to sign it, or if there's any questions.
Move to approve this one.
Second.
Commissioner Brand moves to approve, second by Commissioner Harvey. Any questions for Chad on this item?
So Chad's been working his butt off, because as he said, found out that we could get $100,000 towards money we basically were already committed to spending as a part of the project, but the deadline was October 15th or something, so he had to pedal pretty quick to get us ready. But so this is a great deal. We, as he said, it's 100% grant. It is a reimbursement, so you know, Pauline, we'd have to still spend it as we were planning, but now we'll get that money back. So couldn't have been a more perfect phone call for Chad to get a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago, because
Good job.
Pauline always likes more money.
Every once in a while,
Money.
we get a little luck. but-
Yeah, hopefully we get it. Like I say, I'm gonna definitely give it my best shot here, so.
Yeah, appreciate that, Chad. So I need a roll call vote on this item, please.
Weinreich,
Aye.
Bragg,
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye, thank you. 8.5, Chad.
8.5 is a yearly grant. There's funding out there through the community forestry grants that I apply. It's a $5,000, 50% match. I applied for that last year. That was the first year I was able to apply for it in this position. And I planted 5 trees out of Mountain Dew Fields, and it allowed us to get 50% reimbursement. This year, I'm gonna plant 9 trees down in Memorial Park. It's part of our goal to continue to rejuvenate our urban forest and our park system. And then next year I'll be going for, we're gonna take some ash trees down this winter in the southeast corner of Memorial Park. And I'll be applying for this again next year to assist us in planting those trees. So I'm gonna do this yearly as long as it's available. We got plenty of space for trees in our park systems. I guess so with this one, Mayor, I'd ask for approval and
Chad?
authorizing me to sign this one.
Move to approve.
So moved. Second.
Move to approve, Commissioner Harvey, second, Commissioner Weinrich. Any more discussion on this one, Brad? Roll call vote, please.
Weinreich,
Aye.
Bragg,
Aye.
Harvey.
Aye.
Mayor Harrington.
Aye. Thank you, Chad.
Thanks,
Thanks for all your
Chad.
work on that. 8.6, one of my favorite times of the year. Mr. Bragg?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Solid Waste Department rubble site will be closed on Saturday, October 7th, and Monday, October 9th, 2023, in observance of Columbus Day. Monday's garbage, recycling, and grass collection will be done on Wednesday, October 11th. Please remember to have your containers out the night before. If you have any questions, please call 605-353-8542.
All right, thank you. Mr. Bragg. 8.7, we're gonna call on Dennis Bennett again to,
That's all, I believe Commissioner Harvey is going to be.
Commissioner Harvey.
That's fine. Yep.
All right, Commissioner Harvey, thank you. Dennis.
Asphalt paving materials will return to finish the fall portion of the 2023 street milling and overlay project on October 16th. They plan to complete the paving by October 20th. The streets that will be milled and paved will be Lincoln Avenue Southwest, from the railroad tracks to 3rd Street, including Market and 3rd intersections. 1st Street Southwest from Millette to Lincoln Avenue. 1st Street Southwest from Quinn Avenue to Ordway Avenue. 2nd Street Southwest from Millette Avenue to Lincoln Avenue. 2nd Street Southwest from Quinn Avenue to Nicolette Avenue. Ordway Avenue Southwest from 1st to 3rd Street. Nicolette Avenue Southwest from 1st to 2nd Street. Illinois Avenue from 22nd to 24th Street. Ohio Avenue from 22nd to 24th Street. Hawaii Avenue from 22nd to 24th Street. And 7th Street Northeast from Utah Avenue to Beach Avenue. Please consider taking alternate routes during this time. If you must travel through these areas, please slow down and proceed with caution. If you have any questions, please call the engineering office at 605-353-8510. Thank you all for your cooperation and understanding.
Very good, very good. Seeing none, do we have any more to add tonight? I don't think we do. So with that,
One question.
yes, Commissioner Weinrich.
Are our city offices open next month? Monday?
No,
We should probably announce that in no commission meeting next week as well.
yeah.